Sorry I'm late. I've been stirring some shit and pissing people off.
You mean pissing people off in your DMs?
Maybe just a little bit. In our DMs, you shared my glory.
I know it's a plural we, right? Well, let's share in that. So, like, as some of our viewers may not know, we have been making, in addition to our podcast videos, we've been making memes and
let's
posting
introduce
them.
ourselves.
What? Oh, sorry.
I'm Violet.
Go ahead. I'm Acid Betty.
That's all.
Work. Okay. And we were going to go really quick into, the fact that we've been making some memes about our 90-Day Fiancé and the shows that we cover in our podcast, and we tag everybody as we should.
That's how I feel about it.
And we've been getting reactions.
Right.
But not only reactions, but we've been getting reactions from the people that we're tagging, i.e., like a captain from one of the below
Captain
decks.
Carey, hi. If you ever see this, that's amazing.
Captain Carey.
Ruben the Cuban follows us.
Ruben the Cuban, which is amazing. He follows us.
Tyree.
Okay. Yeah, what else?
Tyree
loves like one of our. Okay, so he follows us. See, so if they're following us, why are you not?
We might have ticked off some meat, but I didn't mean to. I was just posting what I saw.
Yeah, you posted something, and who was it? Someone asked. Oh my God, that's right. I remember. It was Submit.
It's Submit.
What's his name?
Yeah,
Submit. He was like, "Why are you tagging me in this?"
And I was like, "Because you're in the photo, bro." I'm sorry.
Because it's about you, bro.
Sorry that your wife is, on the internet. I mean, saying
shit.
I mean, she was just defending herself, but that is so Jenny, right? Like, she cares what all these randos say about her. Like, girl, is that really the first time someone's implied that you're old? Really? That's the first time you're hearing this?
Did he respond to your response?
No. What are you going to say?
Okay.
I felt like it was the most neutral backup. Whoops. Because I didn't say anything. I didn't make the insult. I didn't come at them. I didn't say anything in the comments. I just know that I spilled onto that page. I saw the interaction. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Hysterical. I didn't realize. I mean, I know like people tag me and do that, and they use my name a lot in like, those things where it's like tag 2 friends and get a hoo-hoo. So I get a lot of those tags from a lot of sweepstakes and things like that. So it's shocking to me because they have more followers than me. So it's shocking to me that they are so granular in noticing everything. Or maybe we are just so like on the nose.
Gosh. Remember the first one ever? The first meme we ever posted immediately had a response from Scott. Like, I posted something about Smothered and he was our first response. And then, what are you waiting for, people? We're funny.
So more to come on that. Oh my God, that's crazy. Well, we are the real life brother and sister who are totally obsessed with, obviously, as you can tell, reality TV.
Yes. And this is our weekly reality rundown where we try to talk about all of the shows that we love. And I'm just wondering, what have you been watching, Acid? What's on your feed?
What's on my feed? I've only watched 2 things, one of which was Bet It All on Blonde. A 2-part special about Erica Jane and her Vegas and her trip to Vegas.
Acid has a villain obsession this month. First it was Wendy Williams. Now it's Erica Jane.
Are they considered villains?
In my story, they are.
Okay, well then I don't mind being called a villain now in certain circles because I'm not a fan of Erica. I am a fan of Wendy, so work it out. I am a fan of both of their entertainment work, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so gross. Like, if you can like remove R. Kelly from the fact that he's like a child predator, and you could maybe be like, he's a good musician is what I'm trying to say.
Listen, you caught me the other day accidentally wanting to sing I Believe I Can Fly. Oopsie. It happens.
I know. So it's like Erica Jane, not a fan, but it's like I enjoy the character in The Real Housewives.
I want to see Biggie. No, I want to see Biggie on television, but I want to be friends with Smiley.
Oh,
does that answer that?
Oh my God. Jarring my fucking brain. I have some baddies news. Thank you.
Wait. We didn't. We needed. Aren't we doing Erica Jane first? Okay.
Yes, that's what I said. But thank you for reminding me.
L'chaim.
So I think it was a total PR stunt, obviously, because the special where now that we discovered through the Real Housewives that basically Erica's lawyers forced her, or maybe this was in her thing, to go meet with these people that day at the fair or whatever. Remember how I said there was that awkward meeting
about Andy trying to ask her questions and she was like, I cannot.
She didn't want to be there. She didn't want to be there. is basically what she was said. Maybe she said that in her special. She was like, I don't want to be there. And I think they thought that would... what they were saying is, get to know Erica and humanize her, which is what I think this documentary was about, was just to humanize her. I will say from a personal note, and this is really funny and shady, but since, I only have a small amount of followers and not a lot of people will catch this, I was asked before to do the visuals for Bet It All on Blonde for Erica Jane. There was a small production team. We all got together. And they helped me put together a price and all of that for what I was going to do. And then it never came around. So I just assumed maybe I was too expensive, this and that. It's very possible, right? So I saw the show. They obviously went with someone, I don't know if they went with someone, but obviously someone way cheaper. But also, during the documentary, she tried to apply for a $100,000 loan and was declined. And the loan was specifically for the show. So I couldn't help but think, personally, when that was declined, I was like, aha! That's why, because they were talking about what do you need? And he was like, well, we need like live instrumentalists, which never ended up happening. So I was a part of talking that we need visuals. I was part of the visuals. That never happened.
She does talk.
She had
on
visuals.
The show, she does talk
but it's
to
like,
the fact that she doesn't have the money that people think she does.
Yeah, no, she doesn't
have the cash flow. But most people know that those housewives don't actually have any liquid cash flow. It's all a balancing act of debt over here and debt over there.
And we were talking about this though, and it sucks, for them, and it sucks to be us, but I would rather be, if the situation is quote unquote the same, right? Because we're balancing our money and we're hardly getting by, then I would rather balance my money and hardly get by with my 3 houses, my butler, private chef, driver, jet.
I mean, Beverly Hills Housewives, allowance. One of the upcoming, the commercials about, how Kyle kind of goes off.
I'll struggle.
Is also, no, of course. Way. Who doesn't want to have that be the problem?
Not to sidetrack, when they were talking about Trump and his financial drama and the fact that he wants to fight the $340 million settlement. In order to do that, he has to put down $340 million. And they're like, oh, of course he has it. But actually in the background, they're like, oh, no, he doesn't have it. And then the lawyers try to put in, I don't know what the terminology is, something to reduce the price or this and that. Because otherwise, then he's going to have to maybe, sell properties or do something like that. And I'm just like, it's so gross that these rich people are always like, pick up by your bootstraps, and we're so sorry that you can't afford to eat this and that. And then these rich people are like, I might have to sell one of my buildings, out of my 107 buildings, and I can't sell a golf course.
Right.
Oh
I have to get rid of one of my yachts.
So I don't feel horrible. I mean, she's there sitting in her apartment doing whatever, and it follows her 30 days to do the show, and she's obviously not there. And I feel so bad for Mikey, who I actually know when he was 15 years old. He ends up breaking down crying because he's basically puts it all together, and he's like I don't know where you are, but you're not here. And he even says as a friend, I don't know how to get you to do what you need to do. And it's because she's very she's the ice queen, but it's really frozen over. And even she, and I don't think she realizes, because she's trying to find the sexual Jane, and she's I can't. They used to be so easy, and now I can't find it, and this and that. And even when she's performing, she feels very in this, the splices that they show, she feels very cold and she's not enjoying it. And so that was it with the Erica Jane. They showed her.
So you not buying the PR act?
It's all a success. Well, and also the reason why it was funny, because at the end they do a where are they now real fast, and they're Erica Jane's show was a commercial success. Whatever that means,
She made a profit.
And then and then whoever Girardi's cases were dropped, or saying that he is possibly not mentally, able to withstand his cases. And then the third one was, and Erica's dog died a month after her Vegas residency. And there was a picture of the dog. And I'm like, this is a PR stunt.
Oh my God, do you remember that documentary?
I don't even recall seeing the dog.
Do you remember that documentary we watched, Bad Vegan? That's what it felt like. She was like, I'm going to produce a documentary about myself.
And I mean, yes, she struggles and this and that, and I get it. And those are real. I'm not discounting that, but...
Oh, come on. You already know how I feel about it. That's I told you, they're doing an interview with Oprah, and they're asking Oprah if she's happy, and she's going to tell me how to be happy. And that the clip they keep repeating is Oprah freaking Winfrey is telling me that I need to be responsible for my happiness. Well, can I borrow your home and your chef and everything else, and then I'll be responsible for my fucking happiness, okay?
Can I live on your farm?
Yeah, so that's where I'm at with Erica Jane. Like, oh, boo. Like, you travel with the clam squad. Boo. I could barely afford to get my hair done. Clearly. Boo.
Honey.
Anyway.
And then last, when you remind me of Biggie, they have auditions for the new Baddies show already
and the Caribbean versus or whatever, right?
Well, that's the Caribbean. Oh, thank you. And they have West versus East or whatever. Bad versus...
sniffing around there.
So I actually saw that too.
Okay.
So...
I just watched bits of it. I didn't sit down and watch it because, it's much.
Okay, so the reason why I'm mentioning this is Nene Leakes is back.
Okay.
At the auditions.
Love her.
She shows up.
She's decided. She's like, this is my next thing.
And then the Nick Cannon show. Maybe she's in the Nick Cannon, whatever. It's all a mix. It's a mishmash. The Nick Cannon show, which is the Versus, it starts off with Natalie, Nunn, and like 5 of the baddies versus Jocelyn and 5 of her cabaret girls.
Okay.
Do you remember who Jocelyn is?
Yes, and I remember the show.
So that's the problem, and that's the basis of everything. Is Jocelyn is sitting on this? I started it. I started Zeus. I'm the number one. You should recognize that.
Yeah.
And Natalie is like, I'm Natalie Nunn. We have the number one show on Zeus. Everybody knows who we are. And that's what they keep saying. And it's funny because even during the intro and stuff, they're like, even when like the girls come on, they're like, and here's Jocelyn, and I'm not sure who that is. She got some girls with her. It's straight up like that, right? Even though they intro them, but they're still like, the host will still kind of like know who they are. And then straight up everybody, like, there's Natalie, and we got Biggie, and oh shit, and they smile, saying their names. And I'm like, right, oh no, Scotty's got the boot. And I'm like, so it's like, the proof is in the pudding. Do you know what I mean? Like, Jocelyn could be screaming and doing all this shit, but it's like, Jocelyn, no one knows who those people are. You're saying you're all these things, but literally everyone is calling them by name. They know who all of those bad girls are. Right. But Jocelyn is a bad bitch, and they were screaming at each other in the face. And the Verses was like stupid. It really was kind of like, let's say you said some shit to me on Twitter, and they'd be like, I'm going to call you out in your face. You said some shit to me on Twitter. Is that true? And then that's it, right? That was really all it was. They only got down to 2 things. And while Natalie was screaming some shit, like, you eat some girl's pussy or something really gross, whatever, like, Jocelyn just like,
see, why is it always that? Do you see how that's a trend? That is like the trend.
I don't know. It's so weird.
But it's you know what?
And then later Jocelyn was like, maybe.
I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of like old school when straight men want to insult each other, they call each other gay, and that was like that was the thing they could do. I feel like now these bad girls have taken over that. They're like, oh well, you must eat pussy.
But this whole thing's still even less than that or whatever, is that they're coming after them like, oh well, you have an OnlyFans, and on your OnlyFans, it was like, everyone famous has an OnlyFans. Real Housewives have OnlyFans. They all do. And they're all making, if they're good, millions of dollars on that shit. So it's not a read to be like, and that's what like Jocelyn was like, oh, you're on OnlyFans and you're doing this and that, whatever. And it's like, it's like a stripper calling this other girl, doing what she's doing, stripping online.
When me and my friends were running LA, and that's not an insult, because that's confirming that other people are paying for the privilege and no one's paying for your shit. So don't talk to me about that. Like, if someone's going to pay me money to look at my twat, I got a magic twat.
I mean, to look at her feet even. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even if like, it's even, that's what I mean. Like,
or sit in a cupcake.
Right.
Whatever the fuck is up.
Exactly. So there was a lot of that, and because the fights broke out so hardcore, it kind of ended. But it's like the birth of a new show. It's like the first episode of the first new show, and I'm excited about it because some people step in and kind of like show them, there's like, like what say, like mini stars, they say, oh, it's a star shine, but like some people kind of like fill in the gaps, let's say, that you didn't know were there, right? So there's Nick Cannon, and he's up, they have a set, so it's very smart, so he's off on the side, and he's reacting like, You can tell in his face, he's kind of like shocked, like, why the fuck am I here? But there's a woman in the audience. I have to get her name. And she'll get like reactions from the audience and shit like that. But I think she's the missing star because while the fighting is going on, she's commentating. So, and she's doing the Jeff Probst.
Yeah, well, someone should.
Oh no, Biggie's got her by the hair and Rolly's stuck. I see Rolly's ass.
Someone
Rolly is
should.
stuck. And they won't let Rolly go.
I'm telling you.
So all of a sudden you have this voice that's narrating.
That's amazing. They should have
the
that.
Stage.
They should have that
in like a comedy, girl comedy, which hello girls do it best. Oh. So I'm like, oh, this bitch is like, I hope they kind of promote her because that was like such an added thing. Because then instead of like hearing voices and trying to find what's going on, you had this like comedian woman, narrating what the fuck was going on, and then she would like put it in a bow, I saw who's tits, this, that, Rolly's ass, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this is so good. So, and you could tell she's doing it on the fly, So,
well,
anyway,
course,
so that was it.
yeah.
I can't remember the show. East versus West, something versus Wild.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of the show on the Zeus Network. I'll look it up. But yeah, I forgot that I'd watched that too. What's going on in your feed?
I'll tell you what's going on in my feed.
Okay.
Not as exciting as Baddies. I checked in on Vanderpump Rules. I don't even think I watched the entire episode. I might have actually watched like the ending of one and the beginning of another. You know what I mean? It was like one of those marathon days. But really, I wanted to text you something based on something I saw. But what was interesting?
We have to watch. Look, okay.
It was just one. There's a photo. So the assistant that you noticed, right? Like that's always in these awkward situations.
See, I saw online that she got hired by the girlfriend.
No, she's like, it's too much.
Okay.
Dude is trying to buy the house away from.
Wait. Let me guess. She went to go work for Wendy Williams.
She's on the plane right now. She's calling Wendy
as her modeling scout and financial advisor.
Therapist. Since now she has 3 months experience.
Okay, I know where you're going with this. I heard a little bit of this story. Sorry. So what you're saying is, I know a little bit about this. So
basically, Tom wants to buy the house, or made an offer to buy the house, and Ariana is very much of, okay, fine, I'll give you the house, but I'm gonna take everything in the house. So there's like a scene where she's on the phone trying to say, do you know what the value of this is? Do you know what the value of this is to someone that's working with her, right? Like I'd like to sell this. I'd like to sell this. Okay, but this just was a kiki for me. I'm sending this to you now. You hear this person on the phone say to her, hey,
Oh, yeah.
Angie.
I caught this.
Okay.
How did I catch this 1 minute?
Angie,
how did I catch this 1 minute?
Is willing to rework this art for you to remove him.
To remove him.
And I thought, is that Angie?
And she repeats it. And she goes, oh.
Right. And I just sent you a picture of the art just so you have a visual reference.
I saw it, yeah. The minute you showed me the Lego thing, I'm like, I literally caught the 1 minute. It's a cool Lego thing.
Right.
Who's the Lego guy?
His name was Andy. And I was like, is that the guy you know?
Damn,
okay.
No, that's why I asked.
Okay, that's the only
right,
Kiki. Okay, so that was it. That was really, I'm not, basically Tom seems to be moving his way back. Everyone seems to be almost like under duress, being forced to be okay with him because Lisa came in with this emotional plea that, oh shit, I think he's suicidal, so you should forgive him, which is not going to go well for Ariana because Ariana looks like she's just moving on. And everyone's like, well, she's okay.
Good. See,
That's it's the problem with that. I agree. Yeah, move along. But the thing is that now dude is playing the like, I'm still hurt because of everything you did. And now everyone feels sorry for him. And they literally talk to her. They're like, well, she's okay, but he's not. And I'm like, he shouldn't be. That's kind of like he's
the cheater.
Thing. But because she's okay, they're like, it's almost like justifying that they're going to forgive him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's bullshit.
But it's Lisa. It's because I'm sure they don't show everything on camera, but Lisa literally is talking to all these people saying, he's suicidal.
Well,
and
I'm sure they have their favorites.
Be friends with him again.
I had heard that the reason why the selling, though, of the apartment became a thing and they were going to split it, as you said, was because he was going to take a personal loan out on the apartment. And she caught that and said, well, if you're taking a loan out, I get half of that loan. And he was like, no. And she was like, but this is ours. So if this is ours, then we need to sell it, get loans on something that's ours.
He doesn't get to refinance and pull equity out.
Yeah, that's what I think he was looking to do.
Oh, he's slimy.
Yeah, good for him. I say good for all the slime people to do that shit. Like Trump. Good for you for trying.
Anyway.
I wish they didn't get away with it.
Vanderpump Rules. That's pretty much where I was at with that.
Is he going to get away with it? What do you think?
No, of course. Especially because he's a man.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think she's a little like
I will tell you right now that just like Prison Brides, there are women.
She likes her boys.
Slipping into that man's DMs like, baby, I'll take care of you. I don't care you've cheated on every girlfriend since we've known you. Because Ariana is also the other girl. Like, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the show that long, but he cheated on his girlfriend with Ariana. Yeah. It just took a while for her karma to catch up. That's all.
All right.
So that's Vanderpump Rules. And then I checked in on our 90 Day Fiancé Tell-All Part 1 of 2.
Yes. Which I have to watch, I guess.
I mean, it was interesting. Really, the saddest part was Nikki, because that asshole literally broke up with her in a text when she got home.
He's abusive.
He's abusive, and he's also kind of a bigot. And they're letting him get away with it. I mean, it's not over yet. They haven't really gotten his part yet. But they're not speaking to anything that I saw that I would speak to. Because there were so many times he said the wrong. That was just so obviously from a place of homophobia. It had nothing to do with her or the relationship.
Yeah.
But no one's talking to it, and they're being very polite with him.
Totally random, but you made me think of. I'm catching up with that the boys, the second season. What is it? V Academy, V University, or something like that. And it just made me think of it. It just made me think because I think the writing is kind of good.
Woo!
Generation V. But the father, one of his lines was literally like, "I'm a bigot," and then he continued talking, and I was like, "Did he just like
wait the father
say I'm a bigot?"
Who's
the father of the kid? So there's the kid. That's I assume is the they them because they transfer from being a girl to a boy.
Oh, yeah.
And they change gender. Power. Yeah, and so they're like, so he was like, they're like at a meeting or something, like a press meeting, and he was saying something about, well, maybe they'll date, talking about him and like I guess the two characters, like the two people, and then he like switches to the girl but that's when the dad was like, "I'm a bigot. What do you expect from me?" I'm like, that is some weird writing. Sorry, I was like
lazy
totally
writing.
When it said bigot, I'm like,
it doesn't usually tell itself like
totally.
that.
Well, I'm a bigot.
Although this dude was
so
pretty transparent, I'm telling you, and the things he said in his confessionals were just like, what? Oh, I need her to access, sometimes when I'm with her, I see her masculine side. Yeah. There were so many things that were just like,
no, drop
gross.
him.
So that was horrible. And then Jasmine, the other beauty queen on the stage, completely has an emotional breakdown because they show her...
Oh, the colors?
The colors. Yeah, Jasmine, they show her footage from his bachelor party.
Oh yeah,
and
I saw clips of that for coming soon.
Let me tell you something though, and I'm not necessarily the most compassionate for Jasmine because she is so damn overly like over the top all the time. But she is like shaking and hands, her face is on her hands, and she's like bawling. And he is sitting next to her watching the footage like this, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's disgusting! I can't believe it." And he's like, "Yeah, look at that." He is so gross.
I think they're weird. I don't think it's one-sided.
Well, of course not. She's a lunatic, but
that's weird.
And now it looks like Jasmine and Nikki are friends, so that's going to be quite a pair.
Oh, that's
Barbie
cool.
Barbie 1 and Barbie 2.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
No, I love them together. I'm obsessed. So that was my feed, cool. Only because I wanted to check in.
Okay. Yeah. And then The Real Housewives Part 2. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't going to really talk to it because there wasn't a lot of that other than Kyle kind of reestablishing that she is the OG. You can't fuck with Kyle.
Yeah, and they come for her, and it's more about what's happening in the third episode, right? Because Kyle's sister comes.
Kathy.
And everyone is like... She must really stir some fear into those bitches in real life because they act so weird around her.
It is so mafioso, right?
And at some point, you just got to be like, fuck, like how I feel about those Hilton hotels. Fuck that.
Well, it's weird because it's not like she's Clinton or in some government entity. She's not going to like have you offed. The most she's going to do is what? Have you not invited to certain parties? Okay.
Exactly. Who fucking cares?
Like in society, she might have power, but she's literally not. The way these women act, it's as though she's in Trump circles where possibly they're going to be assassinated
and the
or
way
something.
I know. And the way they edit the coming soon is that her appearance makes Sutton go into like a panic attack.
I know. They're like, oh, you're shaking.
Because like Kathy sits down and then Sutton's like, I'm shaking. And they're like, we need medical. And she's like, oh, do you see me shaking? And it's just Kathy sitting there.
She can't handle the power of the Queen Witch.
It's so not what's happened, but that's so funny. I wonder if they mentioned like Mercer. No,
it's going to be Sutton.
She's like, not Mercer.
Girl, you know what it is. It's going to be. They're probably. I don't even know. her relationship with her ex-husband, there's a lot in Sutton. There's a lot there. I don't understand it. We're still talking about our favorite franchise, the spinoff Queen, 90 Day Fiancé, and we are talking about The Single Life.
Today, we're getting into episode 10. I can't believe it's already 10. We're back in Greece, thank God, and Chantel has very little time to get Yannis to pay attention to her. Miss Debbie's tumor, Julian, has spilled the tea and left Ruben feeling uncertain. And Johnny Sparkles has packed up his car and headed to move to Texas. Yeah. Interesting. And well, and Michael has traveled from Alaska to LA to see Natalie, thanks to Natalie's mom. And the question still remains, will they get back together and make many babies for Natalie's mother? Because Natalie's been trying for 55 years to get pregnant.
Natalie's been trying to get pregnant since before she was born.
That's what I mean, 55 years. That's what I mean. For 10 years before she was conceived, she was like, I must be pregnant, but first I must be born.
Her mother had a twinkle in her eye and a twinkle in her eye.
Right.
She was like,
I need to be an egg.
First I must have Natalie to get the grandbabies.
I must have, right? She's like, I must have grandbabies.
Like, she didn't really care about the daughter.
How do I do that?
She's like, I need to have the grandchildren.
Right. She was like, shit, I must have children.
And they must be girls.
So I can have grandchildren.
Lord. All right. Well, also, Veronica and Jamal are still under the same roof in Charlotte. So good for Veronica on that one. But are they just playing nice until the airport? We're not sure. We're going to see. Once again, Timothy is missing from this episode. I'm pretty convinced that he's less like an actual cast member and more just an accessory to Veronica. Because like even when he dates, he's not really dating.
That it was supposed to be only Veronica. It always says Veronica.
But he's in the
he was only accessory to her.
He's like in the photo, like he's listed as a cast member.
But he's in the photo because that is Veronica's ex.
No, I mean when the show.
That's why it's fucked
well, you can look it up, but he's listed as a cast member, not.
Is he really?
He's like literally on the show.
You could be, and I'll be honest, I was trying to go back and trying to find some of this shit, like, you know, the title with his name, so you could be right, but I didn't find it because I couldn't download that shit.
This is weird. And you know what I think happened?
But I was like, where's Tim?
I think they cast him, and then they realized, just like Louisa probably did, oh shit, this guy doesn't date. That's all I'm saying. Anyway.
Well, also, but I mean, also though, like these last 3 episodes was like a night at Veronica's house.
Well, shit. I mean, speaking of Chantel, it's like...
Did I mean like the fight happened at night and then it was the morning
hey, how are you? Did you like
mean?
your breakfast? And then that's all Chantel you see. So I mean, that's where
and she's like, I guess it's another glam morning.
Okay.
That's it for Chantel.
We're going to get into it. But speaking of dating that isn't quite dating, also Tyree is not in this episode. He's also missing. I'm hoping for your sake, Acid, that he's getting some kind of therapy for that laugh. Because I know.
Yeah, me too.
I know it's going to not serve him well. We're going to see him next week, hopefully. But let's talk about this episode with the people that we actually got to get into. Like Natalie.
Let's do it. We'll start with Natalie.
Yes, Natalie.
Which takes place a month, which is so crazy. Like Natalie gets 2 weeks later, a month later, and then Chantel is like an hour later, 10 minutes ago. And Natalie, we're getting this whole expansive time.
Which makes you wonder, what the fuck is Natalie doing?
Like Chantel, we get like a week vacation, right? And it's the whole season. And then Natalie, we've had the whole year, like a whole year of her life.
A whole year, and she's still in the same apartment.
Tribulations.
Tuck it out. She has no job, and she's with mom.
Well, she keeps getting with, you know. Well, this episode, mom stepped up and decided to call Michael, who apparently, now that answers more of your questions, is the reason why mom is here. He probably paid for her
100%,
and everything.
100%. Yeah.
And also, I think he was the one that sent money over to Natalie and mom when they were having issues during COVID and then enter Ukrainian war.
Oh, no, he
sent money over there.
He's been caring for them. He reminds me so much of my small town boyfriend in that he gives this really kind of like, oh, I can call this guy. He's going to show up every time. But he's still, I don't know. He always looks so constipated, just like his mother, you know?
Yeah, he looks like his mom. You can totally see it. But he's there.
No, he's there, but he also looks like he's ready to interrogate her.
Maikusha. It's Maikusha.
Like babushka.
That's what mom calls her. Maikusha. Maikusha is here. And Natalie wants her own J-Lo and Ben Affleck moment.
I know, but you see, like, the first thing on his mind is, why did you move here?
Is that what he said?
He's like, why did you really move here?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
It's like, right, the same attitude.
Well, he wants to know.
Yeah, but see, that thing is,
Becky, come
his
on.
mom and him both always accused her of hunting for that green card. And so he's coming with that same energy. And I'm just like, oh, Michael, give it up. If you love her and she loves you, just stop with the green card shit. Maybe she wants the green card and she wants you. Both things can be true.
Do you think he has a girlfriend?
Well, I don't know. They're alluding to... I don't know. That might be an edit because I feel like if he had a girlfriend, there's no fucking way he would have flown all the way to LA.
That's how I feel too.
And there's no way mom, even if he wanted to, mom would have been like, no, you're not doing that because you have this good woman at home, whatever the fuck, you know?
If mom knew, it's not like he's going to say, oh, with the limited words that mom barely knows, I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think that Michael can take off for days at a time without mommy knowing. I mean... I think if he had a girlfriend,
I hear what you're saying.
He would not be physically.
His mom would be like, hell to the nana.
Yeah, because she's still.
I guess it's up in the air if Natalie will save her marriage.
Yeah, because they're not.
I guess that's what
they're still married. Holy poopala.
I guess that's what this really is. It's not really the single life. This is 90-day still married. 90 days save my marriage. This is
90 days separated.
What is single life? I guess you can be single and married.
Well, she's been dating, so she's a single. She's been acting single. Kind of like that Salt Lake City. Remember that moment did you see when Monica was having some confrontation? Because she was like, I'm as single as the rest of you. And they were like, no, you're not. She's like, I can go and get a guy right now and fuck him. And no husband is going to tell me I can't. That's how single I am. Just because I'm not officially divorced doesn't mean I'm not single.
Right.
So I think that's where Natalie is.
Just kind of interesting because now it's like, now we're on a trip to save the marriage.
Yeah, but it's all a trip to have babies.
I'm down with that. Make babies. Make really tall troll babies. I want her to be happy, whatever she wants. She has the magic. I want Natalie to be happy
too, but I just, I wish it wasn't. I wish someone else other than Michael, because that's not it.
I think she wants I feel like she wants 7 babies. I just see her just want like a slew of babies.
Natalie wants a traveling band.
Yeah, I can see her be like, I need a girl, and then she needs a younger brother. The younger brother always needs another brother, and then we need twins. And I think we need like she will continue
mom is
until it ends.
They look so cute with another one.
I was gonna say, mom needs 7.
Each baby needs to be able to carry a baby.
In Ukraine, 7 lucky number. No, I don't know. Anyway, and then we got
to Debbie.
I don't have much for Debbie. Yeah, Miss Debbie and Ruben. It's just it's more about Ruben like lost the glasses and looks like more and more real.
Last day in Miami. Now Ruben has to drill Debbie because Julian's a prick.
That's what it is. That's all it was, right? That's all it was.
Well, yeah, and also I just thought it was interesting that they had the graffiti thing. I thought they were participating in something. It was a class.
No,
that was interesting though. Like they participated in a graffiti class. Hey, that's more interesting than a swamp tour if you're going to plan a date. Good job, Ruben.
Tirade didn't do a swamp tour. She was getting back from a swamp tour,
walking
and then they
building
did
tour.
A murder mystery tour.
They did a ghost tour because he gets ghosted, much like we've been ghosted by Tirade because we haven't seen him like in this freaking season.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah, so Debbie actually referred to a little bump in the road called Julian, and I thought that was funny. The name of this episode for us almost was called that.
Totally. No, totally. She knew. She knows what's up. She knows he's the problem. What a mess. Please. I wonder, though, because we follow them on Instagram.
We do.
They're not together. They're not physically together, at least on Instagram.
True. Oh, shit, which reminds me, just to track back a little. Oh, we're not there yet. Never mind. I'll get to it. You are correct. But Ruben is very interactive on Debbie's posts. Like, everything that she says, he comes in and says, oh, I agree. Okay. Oh, that's amazing. Yes, that's beautiful. Yes. Wonderful message,
Ruben's very,
Debbie.
Cynthia Lee Fontaine.
He's like always like there to cheerleader.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That's so funny.
It's not clear on what's going on there, but whatever.
Right, huh? And then we got John Sparkles, who packs up his car.
Yeah, 4 days later, he's out. Bye.
We quickly see his pigsty of a place that he was moving his stuff out of.
And can we also be reminded that the fact that, okay, so he's on the phone, he decides he's going to go. 4 days later, he's gone. And the last time we heard, his car wasn't even running. So good for you, John. You're getting shit done.
He's getting through life. Doing the life stuff.
So yeah, he shows up in Texas. He gets to sleep in the little girl's room on the air mattress. Full romance happening there. And of course, like all mature adults, the first thing he wants to talk about is how they need to have a healthy sex life. Because when you don't have sex in 12 hours, you should be worried. There are problems in your relationship.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yourself, John. Come on, bro.
It's going to be interesting, that one.
Every time he gives me any type of like light, he does something stupid. Like even the scene where he's up and he smacks the wood foot chime. That's a child. That's not a grown up.
Yes, we have a lot of those in this country, though. So
does that make it okay?
It doesn't make it okay. I'm just saying, a lot of those people are raising babies.
Well, he's there. He's horny. And she wants a ring.
I guess I'm just not impressed with them at the moment. So I'm just kind of like, meh. I just want to like plow through it. I mean, I hope they work it out, but it's just like, yeah.
He's like, I just like them so much. I don't even want to fucking talk about them. Skip, we're going to pass on.
Well, no, because at this point, it's like kind of bullshit because it's like,
I love it.
Like, you know, he's like, oh, I can't, you know, the kid sleeps with her. Okay. He sleeps in another room. Well, y'all got to figure that out. Figure it out. I mean, I personally think it's strange that a kid is sleeping with you. So figure it out,
There's a lot
mama.
of things happening there.
Like, okay, the kid has special needs, this and that. The kid's going to have more special needs if you roll over and smack him in your sleep or whatever. So figure it out, mama.
And she wants to have more. She wants to reproduce with John. We're in trouble.
But her house is very nice, I will admit. You know, for it to, you know, well kept. It looked nice. Didn't look like the place he was leaving.
No, she didn't look, you know, in a like a hoarder or anything.
Right. No, it looked like a really like a nice. That's why it was more shocking to me when she was like, oh well, we'll have to figure it out, and he's sleeping with me in these two rooms, because I was like, that house looks really nice. It doesn't look small. This doesn't look like you got to freak out. What I'm like, girl, you're living in a beautiful home.
Yeah, but you know, in her mind, she's probably like, furniture. Oh shit, it's 4 days later and now he's here.
He's here.
That's probably what happened.
No, that's what she's saying. He's really here. Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, you can move furniture, you can all do that, but they got the space and everything. Hope it works out. Because if it doesn't, he got nothing. He needs someone like her. Otherwise, he's just going to be a loser forever.
Yeah, that is the story of most men here.
That's just how it is. That's how I feel about Sparkles.
100%. 100%.
And then we move on to Veronica, who is, you know,
which is the complete opposite situation, actually, because Jamal is the winner in that.
I love him. I love Jamal. I just think it's funny that she thought that a confident man like Jamal would not be affected by Tim. It's just so fucking stupid. God, it's like straight up being like, you literally have a second head, and you're like, I just figured, because someone who's so confident, when we sleep, you would just ignore my sister head right here that's talking shit in the middle of our bed, because that's what's happening. It's literally tumor.
Remember, she starts it saying, oh, fuck you. I don't know why he's so worried about Tim. Fuck Tim. It's like, you're the one who's so worried about Tim. Veronica.
Right. Tim has to be a part of it. Tim has to be there.
My God. You treat Tim like he's your child, more so than your actual child. Well, I'm a package deal. Yeah. Why? How? So apparently, I mean, at least we got some clarification, because apparently they see each other once a month. And I think we probably won't hear from them until like the tell-all. I just feel like that was a nice little bow.
Right. And but he also said that he's planning on moving to Charlotte.
No, he said we will continue to see each other once a month and see how it progresses, meaning he's open, but that's not a decision. And that's another one on social media. But
he says when I move to Charlotte. He even said that. I'm going to change it to when instead of if. So she's aware that I'm forward thinking.
No, I get that. But also, that's another person we follow. We follow both of them on social media, and there is no interaction there.
Yeah, she got dropped Tumor Tim. Otherwise, it ain't going to work out for anybody.
He also hits me as a very private person. Like, he may not just be putting his shit out on social media.
Right.
I'm curious about them. I'm genuinely curious about them, because they could have staying power.
Agreed.
You know, if they get rid of Tim.
And then last but not least, we get a dip into a little bit of Grease.
Yes.
Not enough.
No, not enough Grease. Too much
Chantel is lame. I felt in this little episode, because again, they only they give us 3 lines at a restaurant, and that's it, you know, and then it's like 4 lines in a taxi.
You did notice that they're color coordinated. They're ready for Survivor. They have their own tribe going on.
Ready for Survivor. Right. They're a mess. But she was like very much giving me like expecting things to happen to her.
Per usual.
She's very like this energy, like, why is nothing slapping me in the face? He needs to slap me in the face.
We have known each other a whole 6 days, and he's not introducing me to his family and getting on his knee already.
Right. I love him, but he doesn't slap me in the face.
And by the way, the word is on the street that those are not her friends.
What do you mean? They're just for the show?
TLC people. Like, in fact, they say that boyfriend Mooney, the twerk teacher, is like literally a dance instructor on another TLC show.
Well, that could also then be why she's so like, what do you think, guys?
That's why she has no real connection with them. And they're so like, here we are just to be accessory.
I guess it's another glam day.
Right.
I would be doing that too if I didn't know you and your job was to glam me up. I would just be like, glam me up
and I
again.
guess maybe that's also why I noticed so much the color coordination, because I was like, even real friends don't pull that shit so hard. That was like that was a hard pull.
Oh shit. Mm-hmm. I might have to look into that.
Yes, you will.
I call shade.
I wanted to alert you to that situation.
Well, fuck those bitches.
Rest in peace, King Peter, the faithful of all the faithfuls. Another faithful bites the dust. And immediately, Phaedra and Kate have to decide who is next to be murdered. And that's it. That's where we begin.
Okay.
And Peter's outro. He's gone. And his last words
Peter
were,
is gone.
I tried to save you. Just like Jesus. They tried.
That was Peter's last words.
I tried to save you guys. A lot of the faithfuls kind of end that way. But yeah, Peter's gone, baby. And Kate says that Phaedra should have been smarter.
Yeah. Who?
Kate says that Kate's reaction to the round table and how hard and fast it came for Phaedra. Kate's first reaction at the beginning of the episode was, oh, well, Phaedra should have been smarter. In all the previous ways she's moved. Like, she didn't have any empathy really for her situation. She was like, well, whoop, whoop. I don't know exactly where you are in your notes, but I was curious. I had written that I was curious what you thought about Trichelle's confrontation of the girl group.
Well, I guess I didn't have any thoughts about it because, quite honestly, my only overall thought was she should have been murdered and not John because of that.
Oh, see, I thought your
because
overall
of the
thought
previous
was
night. She was
fuck off, Trichelle.
She was walking around. No, I hate her, right?
Me
but
too.
No, because the previous night they planned to. If she was the one that planted seeds, right, and talked to the girls, like Peter pulled Phaedra away so that Trishelle could talk to the girls, right? And so that's what I was saying is, and I think Phaedra and or Kate was aware of that. So that's why my thought when they were going to murder and they were thinking, who should we murder? My thought was they should murder Trishelle because she's the one that keeps putting wedges in people's brains. And then when they went with politician, I was like, okay. So when Trishelle, let's say the next morning or whatever, because the time shit, I don't get it. It does my brain in. Was back to her shenanigans. I guess that's why it flew over my head, because I was just kind of like, that's what she's doing. There she is, gonna be doing that until you kill her, because she thinks she's been right and she's gonna keep going. I mean, she just has this thing where you know what I mean? It's like, there's Trishelle.
Yeah.
In a fucking beret and her riding gloves, talking shit about black people. Like, yay, you know, like what?
Oh shit.
I did think they should have gotten rid of her. That was my overall,
obviously,
my
I'm
first
with you too.
inkling was they should have gotten rid of her.
Phaedra kind of did her little mockery about, oh, and John says, I'm going to be going tomorrow. When I saw that, I was like, then
funny.
that should mean that he should stay. Because since when do you feed into that?
But that's when I think that Kate was kind of setting Phaedra up.
Well, Kate is very
that's why that
like,
happened.
oh, do you want the rope to hang yourself? Here you go.
Yeah.
That's very much Kate this whole season, basically. even with the avoidance strategy is still very, I put the rope over here if anyone wants to grab it. She's very that.
I don't know if it works very well in the small groups, because now they're sensing like they're getting very smart, and they're like even this episode where they said like, are you the traitor? Like they're getting very bold and asking people and getting their faces, or asking Phaedra, who do you think the traitor is? And then she's like, oh, well, gee, I don't know. It's like, fuck people up. And I think if they did that to Kate, it's going to fuck her up too. Because she hasn't said, I bet you she can't tell us who she thinks the traitor is.
I would 100% have a backstory. Like, I would, just like if you were playing the mole, I would have someone that I was targeting, and I would have reasons to think they were the traitor, because that's what you would do if you were faithful.
So I think that maybe she's going to do Sandra. I mean, she obviously is like against Sandra, but like I think she should have kind of like put it on Sandra is what I think. What?
You think Kate should put the next murder on Sandra?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, not murder, but like put the pressure of maybe she's the traitor. Like put those rumors out there.
Like you said, it's getting into the small group, and then you have the weird individual people's like paranoia and stuff that's going to happen, that like the irrational stuff is going to start happening, where people are like, well, I just felt like, or you just looked like, and none of it's going to make any sense.
That's been going on.
Right. But I'm saying this is when it gets crazy. Like I saw the last season, especially, it came down to like 4 or 5 people, and they're all kind of standing in the semicircle, and basically you just had to guess who is gonna fuck you out of all the money and who's with you. And I mean, at that point, you've spent all this time with people, you're really just guessing who's been lying to me and who's not. I thought it was,
I'll go, okay, MJ got the shield work next.
No, I know. The only reason I was bringing it up is because the very beginning of it, Phaedra comments on how she didn't know how to react to all the encouragement, and I just kind of giggled. I remember thinking, yeah, that's like when the Grinch all of a sudden gets hugged by that little girl. He's like, I don't know what to do.
Right. That's funny.
She's like, she's so used to being the villain and being hated that all these people are like, go Phaedra. She's like, I don't, what Is this support? Love? I don't know. I'm melting. And yeah, the least athletic people I've ever seen in my life. So funny.
I did see that MJ got the shield.
Well, the only reason it was such a thing was because, my God, these people, I mean, do any of them do anything physical? My God, and watching MJ, it was like that show Wipeout. Only they were just hopping from one platform to the other, but these people were acting like it was the most difficult thing they'd ever done in their entire lives.
Maybe it was.
So I was like, good for you, MJ, like, because you could tell it really meant something for her to accomplish that shit. So I was like, oh, good for you, girl.
That's so funny.
She's on there with like CT, like Master of the Universe. That's why it's funny.
Yeah, I was going to say, CT's done all this stuff.
Yeah, CT and Trishelle was like, doop, 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 doop. And everyone else was like, oh my God. That's funny.
That's so funny. But yeah, and then overall, everyone is on Phaedra's ass.
Yeah. It's like dead man walking. And she's got nothing to say for herself.
Which I thought was interesting.
I think she was tired, spent. She wanted to go home. Doesn't she make some like comment about, I just want to leave Scotland or something?
No, I didn't hear that.
She like at her confessional.
I only heard I'm tired of hoo-hoo.
At the very end, when she's confessional, she's like, oh, I can't wait to leave Scotland, honey. And I was like, yeah, she just wants done. She's done.
I did hear, you're right. She did say something like that. Yeah, she's like, I'm ready to pack my bags and get out of something. Yeah, she did. Hey, it's cold and dark in Scotland, rainy.
Well, also it's a competition, and there's just a whole different format. I'm sure she was just not prepared.
It's a competition. She's lying every day.
Oh, Phaedra, poor Phaedra has to lie every day. How difficult.
I mean, I know she's used to that, but you know what I mean. It looked like it was a lot for her to lie to Sheree. Come on, Sheree was gagged.
The two of them, but that's when the Traitors, that's when it comes down to. It's similar to like Survivor, even Big Brother, where you have real friendships and you have to look at these people in the face and just hope that they understand it is a game and I want the money, but can we please be friends at the end?
Yeah.
That's rough.
I really want to see, like, I wish that Phaedra and Sheree had a podcast because I'm so curious about Sheree's feelings after this. I really want to know.
Well, I bet I'm
just curious.
I bet if we tune into Tamra's podcast, she's been interviewing all the Traitors as they've been coming out.
I'm gonna look into it. I'm so curious because Sheree looked really. She even said, "I'm gonna be."
Oh no, I'm telling you,
hurt.
Tamra has the 2 T's in a Podge. That's her podcast, and every week she's been having the Traitors come on, and she's also a fellow housewife. That should be a good conversation. You'll have to tell me.
And are you gonna see I will. Are you gonna see that Housewives murder movie?
No.
No. If I watch it, I'll tell you about it.
I love...
It has like a bunch of the housewives.
I know, but this is how I equate it because I just saw another commercial for it this morning, and it doesn't matter how much, like how cheesy I can be and how much I might like holidays and holiday movies and Santa Claus and all that shit. I have still never been able to really completely go full cheese and get into like Hallmark movies. And the Lifetime movies are very much in that realm of I just can't get there.
Is that what it is? A Lifetime movie?
Yeah, and it's like you already kind of know what the script and everything's going to be about. It's going to be kind of torturous, and it's not great. And I don't mean this as an insult to anyone that's acting, but it's not the best.
It's a realm of acting.
Yeah, it's camp
for sure.
Camp.
It's
and I don't do good
Channel
with camp. It's hard for me.
Yeah. All right, I was just
look. I just love that Denise is in it because I love her. I've loved her since I was a little girl.
Denise is in it. Yeah.
She looks like the star, which I'm kind of stoked for because I just want her to be happy and do well in life. I think she's really paid some dues. I mean, I was in there running with her in Hollywood. I know she's paid some dues. So
yeah, I'm glad that she's still working.
Yeah, and she's still gorgeous. So get it, Denise.
Yar. Cool. So I guess that's it. That's it for Traitors. I don't have anything else. I mean, I have stuff, but I don't really have anything else.
Oh yeah, the only thing I had to say about Traitors
Sandra's going for Kate.
Smart, and the fact that Kate actually hit Phaedra and said that she is more selfish than skillful.
But that was dangerous because then I didn't even know what that meant.
Well, Phaedra did, and Phaedra said it. She said, "Well, Kate hit me a little personal there," and I was like, "Right, that was a very pointed." I don't like you. That was a very Kate thing to do. I just thought I liked it because it was
a target on her back.
Well, of course it did. I mean, you can't be just throwing around things like that. Not when everyone's playing nice. But that's what got her last time.
Amazed.
And she's a traitor this time, so let's see. Let us see.
Oh, so she fucked up. So she's done this before.
Well, remember I told you last time she had such a stink on her. They all thought she was a traitor. It was like every fucking morning, they all looked at her and she'd say, I know, you all think I'm a traitor. No one was her friend. No one even liked her. Like socially even, she did not do well. And you could tell that by the end of the show, she was like, fuck all of you. Very much like she gets on the boat sometimes, right? Fuck all of you. I'm over it. And that's how she was on the show. So this time I could tell that she was really going to try to be a warmer, softer Kate so that she could have friends and people might like her.
Yeah.
But she's starting to the mouth. Watch it, girlfriend. I know, I relate. The mouth will get you in trouble.
And she only has one more day. She can do it.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. Unfortunately, I don't know how much the show's going to be based on real strategy and intellect versus just like, I feel this way about you.
It's going to be, I feel this way about you.
Which is a shame.
I don't know how it ends. Are they all going to have to do like a single vote and kind of like decide who the traitor is or
it
shit
really
like that?
did.
Or is it just goes this way?
No, it came down to last time. It really did come down to where they were just standing there on the outside of the castle and they had to go through the most ridiculous physical challenge. They were riding boats and like jumping in water and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And then even after all that, it was still, who do you think is the traitor? And right then and there, oh, yeah, because it was two traitors. And right then and there, one of the traitors betrayed the other one in order to get the money for themselves. It just happened like, who do you think? It was like that. So that's what I mean. All of this conversation, all of this strategy could be kind of like the catapult at the end where it's like, well, 50-50. Who do you think? And again, the fact that they're all smushing it, like you're going to have the finale and the reunion all in one night. That's cuckoo caca. Hello. And that brings us to, speaking of Survivor. I don't know. We're 4 days in. Purple Tribe, even though they seem strong on the outside, they are just look like they're eating shit. They can't get their fires started. They can't eat. They keep getting voted. They already lost somebody.
And they're making fake idols or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, yes, that's much later, I guess. Yes. Well, I was writing that the conversations in the Orange Tribe were interesting because it seems like you were right in that Venus's reaction to being accused of being like a poverty, and for that seed was absolutely planted, and now like everyone in that kind of Orange Tribe is all talking about Venus, even though she really hasn't done anything. So yeah, dude put the stink on her, but then he found the beware advantage.
That's what I'm trying to say is this whole cast is like fan based, so they're with that advantage stuff, and they're very much like, oh, this is like Who and Ha, and this is that time when Richard did that. And so when they're doing that and you're in a group like that and you go, oh, V is like Richard Hatch, they're all gonna go, I know what that means, got it. And no one's gonna go, oh gee, this is just game. No, everyone's gonna go have this Richard Hatch hanging over her head. And that's why I said poverty. I'm like, that say what you want, but they're gonna say, oh, that's a winner, right? We don't want her to win again, whatever that is. Oh, and I know that poverty bitch. So, and whatever, you know. So, yeah, even if she's not. That's what I mean. Even if she's not as smart, even if she's not doing her sexual shit, even whatever. It's just people are going to use it.
But I still say that what I was saying about Randon is true, because look what happens. I think she's dangerous. I don't trust her, but I'm going to team up with her. I'm going to tell her that I have found this beware advantage. Right, because you like her. You're the kid on the playground that hits the girl with the rock, and then you're like, but I like you. That's literally what you're seeing right now.
Right.
Because why?
So they have so he has the beware idol.
Well, he has the beware advantage.
Like the other team had.
Right, which is the same thing that Tiffany had, only obviously it didn't play out the way it did for Tiffany because Purple just keeps losing. So he's going to have to wait, which means he has no vote. I mean, if you're in tribal, it's dangerous.
But the way he said it, though, the reason I'm like this is because he was smart. He was kind of like, if we lose, then he gets a clue. And I'm just thinking, he'll find it, he'll have an immunity idol, right? But if he doesn't lose, he doesn't have to worry about tribal council. He doesn't have to worry about getting voted off because they're not losing. Right. So I was like, okay, so it's a beware idol, but okay, you lose a vote, but if you find it just as fast as the last girl did, you're not really losing anything, because the minute you need a vote, you will have time in that day to hopefully find the key to open the box, right, to get the immunity idol. That's where I was
beware
thinking.
Comes from, right? It's that risky part. And then obviously some of these tribes, specifically the orange one that we're talking about, right? All of them are like so idol driven. Like some of the other tribes are not so up in the forest, and this orange tribe is like everyone is out there
collecting wood and doing things. Yeah.
They're like, just where is it?
That's good. I think that's smart. But they're not that's why I cut to the previous one. They're not the purple team where they have the fake idol and they can't even like get the bitch to find it.
Girl.
They can't like smack her in the face with it. We can jump around just because it is part of the story. I just think it's funny because they make, we're not really telling the story, but I just think it's funny that you're talking about one team that's like doing all the searching, doing all this craziness. Then they have another team that's literally like trying to put a spotlight, trying to smack her in the face with this fake idol. And they have to like fake it and be like, oh, I found it. And I'm going to give it to you.
How sad is that? And can I just tell you that, so if you are listening to this, you should know that Acid Betty throws a badass scavenger hunt once a year. And it typically starts off with finding something in the room you're in. Like you're standing in a room and Acid Betty announces, there's a clue in this room, find it. It's a small room. And I have yet to find a clue without getting assistance. And each time, Acid Betty is like literally pointing at something directly in my face saying, maybe you should look at this direction. That's how I felt. I was like, that would be me on Survivor.
It was like that. It was like that. And they even said your thing. They were like, if it was lit up with neon signs, I'm like, that's my sister. Because every time you're like, where should I hide the clue? Well, maybe we should light it up. I'm like, right, this girl, Jess. Jess needs a light. She needs a spotlight. She needs a band pointing to it going, it's there under the rock.
Yeah, she needs other friends to also like do the work for her so she can then take credit.
Yeah, that was so much. And then it was funny because she didn't even believe them. Then she was like, this doesn't look right.
Well, it's funny. At least the instinct.
And the reason.
But her instinct was right. At least the instinct was to at least ask the question, is this even real?
Right.
But honestly, Jess, honey, who's giving you an idol like that?
When you do a quote unquote shot in the dark, because that's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to take her shot in the dark option away.
That's a new thing.
Is that what it is when he says, hey, does anyone have an immunity idol? Is that when someone says, I'm going to do a shot in the dark? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know how that goes?
Okay, so the shot in the dark is a new thing.
Or does that happen before the vote? Like, how does this work?
The shot in the dark is around the same time. Like, they're about to read the votes and you're afraid. So if you don't have an idol, once during the season, you have what's called a shot in the dark.
So everyone has this shot in the dark. So after the votes are tallied or whatever, after the votes are in the thing, you can say, like when he's saying does heaven have an immunity idol, you can also say, I want to take a shot in the dark. So that's why if she said I have an immunity idol,
because it
fucked her up, if you will, because she should say I want to take a shot in the dark, right?
It's kind of like, most places
you can't do both.
Yeah, like you use a coupon, right? They're like, you can only use one coupon. It's like that. You can't be like, I've got an idol and I've got a shot in the dark and I've got this, get out of jail free card. I'm going to put all of them here.
So that's why they did that. I was trying to understand.
They were trying to bait her out of a real opportunity to save herself. And it worked. I mean, I felt so bad for her because there was that moment right after the challenge and Tiffany looked like her head was going to explode. I felt horrible for Tiffany, but I felt really bad for Jess at that moment because Jess said, I've been getting yelled at a lot during the challenge and I think I'm going to get yelled at. And I was like, oh, she looks like she's 1 second from crying because she's about to get bullied real hard. Not that she wasn't the fall of the tribe, because she was. Like, I felt bad.
Well, that challenge was fucked up. Survivor, again, is doing these challenges that are pretty much
ridiculous
impossible.
Balancing. I thought they just had to get the word together, but they actually had to get it to somehow magically.
Yeah, no, you have to create
the physics and the engineering to balance.
Attention arch.
That's it, tension. Thank you.
To make, like, I forget what it's called.
Yes.
But it's like one of those archways that holds itself up.
You and I have friends that go to art school for 5 years to learn to do stuff like that. That's not something you're just like, I'm going to take these blocks.
Well,
and
stuff
just
like that also you build with a support. Yeah, so they're just being shady as hell.
Oh, that was
the
so
worst.
much.
When I saw that, I was annoyed.
Even our Banu looked like he was going to like throw down on somebody. He was like, Banu.
Yeah. So they faked that girl with a fake idol, set that girl up with a fake idol. They also say that Banu was like a loose cannon. So they're nervous about partnering with him. And he basically...
He's like, yes, and I'm going to really go loose. I'm going to really show you.
And he literally goes crazy at tribal council.
I thought for sure that he was signing his death warrant right there. I've seen that happen at tribals before where if
thought they were going to vote for him.
If people think that you're paranoid and that you're kind of like you said, a loose cannon, that's a lot to deal with at camp. So they'll usually get, even if that's not the plan, you blow up like that at council, they'll switch the plan just to get rid of you because what the fuck, you're gonna blow up everyone's game.
He blew up his alliance and then he walked up to each one of them.
Right.
How are we voting?
Right. I mean, it's a lot.
Literally, if you have a surprise birthday party, do not tell Banu because he will tell that person. He will literally be like, what do you want for your birthday party? What do you want for your surprise birthday party? God bless him.
We still love him.
But I mean, that's what he gives me, those vibes.
No, 100%. I was actually very concerned with him, and the fact that he further leaned in and didn't even realize that that's what was happening. Dude, they're not really calling you emotional in that you have emotions. That's not actually, you're kind of missing where it is. They're concerned what's happening in about 2 minutes. That's what they're worried about.
They're worried about you being like, I have an alliance, and now I'm gonna like ask them out loud in front of everybody who we were voting for.
God, that was crazy.
Like, what the fuck?
And you know what? This is like kind of,
and make you say we had a plan.
This is kind of going backwards, but I just wanted to know your thoughts on this. Did you catch when Orange Tribe is like undefeated? They're kicking ass at all things, right? Soda's Tribe, and Venus can't help but like have these weird like conversations with people about how she's being treated and how she's being spoken to, and how she's like translating Soda's grabbing the idol from her.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, well, there is this. I was like, why does Jeff keep giving her the idol?
Because she's physically in the middle. I think that's all it is.
I don't know.
It feels as though it's just you're the middle person, but you think it's I'm not giving it to Black Girl?
No, I don't feel like I'm not giving it to Black Girl, but I do feel like I'm giving it to this girl each time. Like I am doing, like there is like I'm not giving it to the closest person.
You're right. No, I honestly, I didn't think about, I just thought
I'm not giving it to the person who obviously worked the hardest, which is sometimes how it usually is. Jeff is like,
see, I always felt like it was just like the way they're standing.
That's like bleeding and like.
Well, now that she's pointed out.
Again, I'm reading into everything, but they've done it twice now. He's done it twice where he's given her the idol twice. Why her, Jeff?
No, I know. And I'm going
to
now pay attention. And obviously, when you say something like that out loud to production, they're hearing you too. So I'll be curious to see if the next challenge that they win.
That's why I'm saying this, because you're like, what are you saying? And I'm like, when you say it out loud or write it down on a journal and someone reads it, they're going to use that to their production advantage.
So I'm just curious about what you thought also about Venus, Venus being so sensitive to that, and how the second time she was like, no, you can't.
Well, the second time, she held on to it, right? Well, and then she turned around to whoever was like, would you guys like to touch it?
Yeah.
So weird. Well, I think that Venus is going to get voted off for all that stuff, for the poverty overlay and the fact that she's some pretty girl and being that crazy with the idol. It's just going to be too much for them.
No, there's a lot.
Whatever she says
there's
and does,
a lot there.
I think they're going to come for her unless she starts.
No, that's also
doing
another dead person
something.
walking. Unfortunately, they laid the road for her like day one, or her pretty face laid the road. You know what I mean? That's it. Sorry, girl.
Yeah, but also it's not just her pretty face, but she also like leaned into it. That's what I'm saying. So, you're like poverty, and for her to be like,
well, and also you can't
don't blow my spot like that. No, that's the time where you go, no.
You can't be over analyzing. Like when you win, that's the time to celebrate. You don't then criticize and talk about how people need to treat you better. Like that was a very strange conversation to me. And again, you guys are only 4 days in. I imagine that I mean, I think about Survivor all the time, and the countenance that you need, the strength of mind that you need in order to last that kind of long with a whole bunch of strangers, in order to keep your mouth shut and your face like still pleasant, you know. And I'm like, Carl, you're really early to be already seeing signs of like wear and tear of societal shit. Like, I'm not being treated well.
That is it. So Jess gets voted off. With the fake idol.
You gotta say something about Jess. She plays the idol. It turns out it's fake. Then she gets voted out, and she does it all with a smile, with really good nature. So good for her. That's someone that really likes the game.
Well, she was shocked. She was
shocked, but she didn't. I've seen people we've all seen people, they get really actually upset, pissed off or whatever. And she just really appreciated the game. Sometimes, people are backdoor to their surprise. They're like, good job, guys. You got me. And that was her attitude. I always appreciate that rather than how dare you. I thought we had something.
True.
Or, how could you trick me? How could you lie to me? It's like, that's literally the game. So that's what I mean. I just like that she was later. Like, haha, you tricked me. Tune in next week as we discuss episode 11 of 90 Day The Single Life. We finally get to see Miss Debbie transform into Mama Debbie and lay down some law on Julian. Spank that ass. I don't know if you saw it, but she literally confronts him, and it looks good. You get him. Yannis assures Chantel that he really does like her. Megan is looking for similar reassurance from John, but she wants it in the form of a ring. And after years of separation, Natalie tries again to repair her marriage with Michael. This is something that we have seen before.
Yes, we have deja vu. No sign of Tyree this episode or in the commercials to come, so he's probably back at the restaurant looking for Tiffany. Where he went, I don't know. Is he in New Orleans? We will soon find out. I hope maybe at the reunion. Yeah. There is no mention of Toomer Timothy either, so maybe they're on a date together.
Hey.
Yeah. We are wondering what is to become of Veronica and Jamal in the long run, especially like you said, we are following them on social media. We don't even know if they are still together or not. Who knows? Maybe they can get it all wrapped up in a pretty little bow. In one episode. I don't know how many episodes we have left, actually.
They are not telling us. We predict just one because that's what the history of the show tells us. But we don't know. They haven't really officially announced anything.
Yeah, well, we may not hear from them again until the tell-all to find out if they're still together or not.
We shall see. And oh my God, it's the finale and the reunion of Traitors next week. There's still so many faithful left, and it's the last episode, so it's going to be kind of crazy. I have no idea what they're going to do.
I don't either. And finally, we will continue to talk Survivor. We'll go to episode 3. Yes. These players are playing hard and starving themselves for that money. And there's still a lot of game left to play. Tune in next week where we live, laugh, love, and model murder.
You can reach out via our website and let us know what you want us to talk or not talk about. And if you have anything to add, our website is sorrywwe're.com or we didn't want to be here.com. I'm Violet.
And I'm Acid Betty.
And as we always say, goody
Bye, y'all.